yeah, we're in fight mode now. That's the only way to be. You know, it's pretty clear. It's in front of us. Sometimes it can be a blessing. You know, there's it's a different pressure when you're holding on to something, you're clinging on to when you're trying to get there. You know, I'm sure Salford will be feeling that a little bit different pressure this week, as opposed to, you know, scrapping for something. Now they've got to hold on to something. So yeah, no, the boys are ready.
And what can you do to impose your style on your opponents rather than getting sort of dragged into the type of game that they might want, as probably happened on Tuesday?
That's definitely what happened on Tuesday. You know, I'll take a bit of the blame for that. I went against my own nature a little bit and went a bit safe, which I'm kicking myself about, especially first half. You know, that's sort of not me. So I'll take that one on the chin. We didn't get it. I didn't get it right for half a game of football, but then the second half, the stats show chances, possession. You know, we had enough to get back in it, but didn't. And they defended ever so well. They defended for their lives, and you got to tip your hat to them. But we gave that one away, probably by being a bit safe. So yeah, that's that.
So if that's where you're taking the responsibility, it's not so much sort of sticking to the plan that you tell the players to go out with. It's then kind of them actually needing to put that into practice and sort of earning the right to play as you want to. Then is that what's needed?
Well, Paul, you've always got to earn the right to play. You've always got to earn the right to have your way in a game of football, and that has to happen first and foremost, regardless of systems, styles, and even personnel. You got to earn the right to play. You got to outrun and outcompete your opponent, no matter what. They tried to do that. Like I say, we got it slightly wrong. Playing Hebrew a bit deeper. I just felt that we'd pick the ball up in front of our back four a bit better, but that wasn't the case. They missed it out completely. And then, you know, he became a bit bitty in there, and then they're receiving the ball with their back to goal. So, you know, I'll like I said, that's part of the role. We adapted quickly, but unfortunately it was too late, and I won't make that mistake again. We'll go brave, we'll go bold, and we'll go and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Be aggressive in possession, be aggressive out of possession, and go and have a fight.
And Tranmere are guaranteed a place in the playoffs, but they still got a slim chance of automatic. They need to keep winning. How useful is it that they'll come to you needing a win?
I just think it'll be a game. It'll be a dust up. It will come down to fine margins, like games of football do. You know, it's a low scoring sport, and it'll be, you know, it'll come down to want. And we've got to leave that pitch, and we've got to have wanted it more than them. It's that simple for us now. You know, it's like a knockout.
And thinking back to, obviously, earlier in the season when you weren't in charge, but you know, Tranmere were as physical as they needed to be, certainly against Forest Green up at Prenton Park. Are they, in a way, a little bit like Barrow? Obviously, they played each other last weekend, so you're able to scout them both at the same time. But are they another team that you need to play around and through rather than to fight your way through?
I feel like we need to play with legs and energy. We're the youngest team in the league. They're the oldest team in the league. So what will win? Experience or legs? And we've got to run them. We've got to work them. We've got to chase. We've got to press. We've got to, you know, scrap for our lives. We've got to be more clinical. We've got to be more, have higher standards in front of goal, and be more clinical and take the chances we make. But we're not going to give it to them easy. They're going to have to work extremely hard. They're going to have to come down to our place, travel down and run their absolute legs off. And we think we'll have more legs than them. We've just got to be clinical in front of goal. So it will be a test, and it'll be two different challenges for each team.
And in terms of selection, is everyone okay from Tuesday night?
No. We've got a few a few doubts at this moment in time that we're crossing our fingers on and hoping on. So yeah, there's a few headaches there, but where there's a headache, it gives somebody else an opportunity, and they'll have to go and take their opportunity. A bit like Kane Wilson did on Tuesday night when he got dropped. He wasn't happy about it. We had a chat, and I said, "You'll get your chance and go and earn it," and he did. He was magnificent.
Yeah, I thought I was being a little bit harsh maybe in commentary, saying, well, he was kind of making an impression. He was almost man of the match for me. But that performance, has that cemented his place in the starting 11?
Possibly. Yeah, you won't get me that easy, Paul.
Obviously, Jamil Matt up tonight for League Two's Player of the Season. I mean, it's been said before, but has his value to Forest Green really been shown even more so since he's been injured? And, does that sort of strengthen his case for an award, do you feel?
I would say so. He's unique. He gives you so much, not just goals. Gives you presence, gives you a bit of calm, gives you leadership, gives you passion when you need it, and calmness when you need it. Yeah, he's a huge presence, and a unique footballer, and he's been absolutely magnificent for this football club, and we wouldn't be where we are with the chances we've got now without him. So for that, you'd say, yeah, the other two players aren't absolutely integral to a football team. The teams could survive without them. We will have to come together over these next two games to almost sort of do it for him, and hopefully, get into the playoffs and work hard and fight and scrap to get promotion for him, because he's been magnificent for the team and would deserve that.
Finally, from me, Jimmy, there's a social media boycott by not just Football League clubs now, but Premier League clubs. UEFA, I think, have just joined it. Cricket and rugby are getting involved as well, some broadcasters as well. You're a manager who's on social media. You're on Twitter. Not everyone is. How do you view the situation and some of the stuff that players and people within football have to put up with? Or shouldn't have to put up with, actually?
Yeah, well, obviously there's no place for it. Human beings, we should take care of each other. We should be kind. We should be no judgment. Nobody means to have an off day or have a poor football performance. If you think about it in reality, how many mistakes have you made today? We've made loads. What everyone does every day, except the footballers on a football pitch, is magnified, and that somehow gives people the right to abuse, and it's absolutely uncalled for. It's a shame that we have to do this. What's happening? But I fully stand behind it, because the companies who run these platforms and have the power to do something about this, possibly, need to realise how powerful this is and how passionate people are about it. So yeah, I'm fully behind it, and it's got to end. We're all on this planet together. We've got to be kind. We've got to be nice to each other and support each other, not abuse people. There's no place.
Thanks, Jimmy. Well said. Good luck.
Cheers, Paul.
Hi, Jimmy. Yeah, I'd just like to echo what you've just said. Very, very well said. My grandfather once said to me that empty vessels make the most noise, and I think I've been on the receiving end of Twitter abuse for maybe things I've written or opinions or stories that have come out. And for me, I just always say empty vessels make the most noise. Maybe give them a like back. And one of my tips for people is kill people with kindness sometimes.
Most of my school teachers told me that empty vessels make the most noise.
It's a great saying.
I totally agree. It's a hard thing for you, because you put yourself out there on social media, and you're there to be shot at, aren't you? And it's quite an easy target, and sort of weak-minded people will use that and abuse it. It's very sad, and hopefully this makes people sit up, take notice, especially the companies that are in charge of these platforms, and and we get some way into stopping this happening as much as we can.
Do you think it's got particularly worse this season with the fact that fans haven't had the opportunity to come and shout and cuss at managers or players as well? They've been in their own little bubbles, haven't they?
It's not a bad shout.
They've not vented as much.
They haven't got it out of their system during the game. No, it's not a bad shout. But, maybe. But that doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse it. We're fallible, aren't we? We're footballers. We make mistakes. We get things wrong. No one's trying to. I can guarantee you, every lad that, in this team that has a shot on goal, they're not trying to miss it, or it makes a pass, or misses a header, or a tackle, or gets done on a run at a corner, or gives away a penalty, or doesn't make a save. No one's trying to, and it's just a mistake. And it's part of life, part of every day. People need to accept it, and it's not an excuse. It's not a reason to abuse people.
No, I think also what people may also forget is that these are actually really young boys, aren't they? Ancient people like me can be a bit more mature and take things, but things hurt when you're younger, I think. Would you agree with that?
I agree. We are a very young side, a lot of young boys, and they maybe struggle to process it, whereas us old boys, we can let it wash off our back, and probably been called a lot worse. But it doesn't make it right, and it has to end.
No, right. I better get back to the football. Beat Tranmere on Saturday, and the landscape changes completely. I know you've said there's going to be a lot more twists and turns, and I guess you still stand by that.
Yeah, it's just football, isn't it? There's always going to be. It's not smooth, but our picture is very, very clear. Beat Tranmere won't change. We've still got to go to Oldham and win. I don't think anything less than 6 points will be enough. So our first task is Tranmere. It's a knockout game. So the picture will not change now, and that's kind of easier for us. We're not wandering and coming in after games and asking about results. None of that will matter anymore. If we win two, I think we'll be there. If we don't, we won't.
No. Your players don't look as if they've been playing with any fear. Would you agree with that? I mean, obviously it was, I think personally, the first dip that the team have had during your tenure.
Yeah, it was just a difficult half of football. We got dragged into a fight, and gave away two scruffy goals. Really, I'm still not sure about the penalty. I'm still just not sure about it. I thought it was soft. Of all the things that happened in the game, for that to be a deciding factor, I think it's soft. And then second goal's a scramble, a shinner. Luke McGee does ever so well, and it falls to one of their players. Scruffy goals, and in a half of football that where we just didn't quite get going, and things weren't quite right shape wise, and so if we keep on that trend and we play 4 games and we only have one poor half of football, we'll be okay. But so you've just got to lick your wounds, and that's what we've done this morning. We've licked our wounds, we've got on with it, and we've worked really hard, and we're now switched on to the next game. Like I said, when we beat Scunthorpe, you're only as good as your next game, and then we drew with Exeter, right? You're only as good as your next game. That hasn't happened because we've lost. It hasn't changed because we've lost. We're only as good as our next game.
Yeah, that half that Kane Wilson had, probably arguably one of the best 45 minutes I've seen from a Forest Green wide player. Some of his crossing was superb, but at times during the commentary we mentioned that really it was crying out for a Jamil Matt. Sorry to go back to Jamil Matt again, but some of the crosses were tailor-made for Jamil, weren't they?
Yeah, and we've just got to get our timing right. And because it's not about height or size, it's about timing. And if we start, and like I've said this before, if we click into gear and we start, getting that rhythm and getting that timing right, we'll score flipping loads of goals. So, that doesn't worry me because I've got a real belief that these lads will click soon. And Kane was fantastic. He wasn't very happy with me leaving him out of the team, which he's got every right to be. We had a chat. And I said, prove me wrong. And as the last thing I said to him when I patted him on the back and sent him on the pitch was, go on then, go prove me wrong. And he did. And I told him this morning, I said, I'm chuffed to bits for you. Well done. That's how you handle being dropped. It's not personal. It wasn't about like Kane. It was just a football decision. And that's it. So go prove me wrong. When you're on the pitch, earn it and stay on the pitch. And when you're off it, when you get your chance, go take it. Brilliant. Delighted for the lad.
Yeah. So for you, that just shows what a good pro he is to have reacted in that way, because some players are likely to sulk and chuck the dolls out the pram.
You know what? I don't think that's in this group. They're a fantastic group. They're up. They're here every day, smiling, laughing. We're ready. They work hard. You know, they accept it and they get on with it. And that's what you have to do. It's never personal, or it shouldn't be. It's just, you have to make tough decisions as managers, and you have to go with what you think is right. You know, you don't always get it right, and then you've got to send people on the pitch that you've dropped. But if you're straight with them and there's honesty, you know, I spoke to Kane. I told him why. He didn't like it, but that's okay. But it wasn't personal. And then I went, go on then, go prove me wrong, go make a fool out of me, and I couldn't be happier. There's no one happier than me that when someone comes on the pitch and does great that I haven't played, because that's the reaction I want. That's the culture that we have to have. So I'm delighted for him.
Yeah,
and he's giving me a headache.
Excellent. Just one more, Jimmy. We talk about crosses into the box and people that can get on the end of balls into the box with fantastic leaps like Jamil Matt. I'm going to mention Sean Mikulski, who's absolutely outstanding in the air. What's the situation with Sean? Is he fit? Is he in your thoughts?
Are you the president of the Sean Mikulski fan?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So today was his first full training session.
Yeah.
So not ready for a match yet at the level with the intensity, but very, very close.
Okay. Cheers, Jimmy. All the best.
No,
thank you. Cheers.
Jimmy, just one from me, I think. You mentioned Kane Wilson's sort of hunger. How is the hunger from the other lads who haven't featured so much? I'm thinking about players like Josh Davison, who's just had a couple of substitute appearances so far.
Desperate to play, and I've told him he will feature at some point. We spoke the other day. He's hungry. He's desperate to play. Wants to be a part of it. Wants to achieve something. Fantastic attitude. Can't fault him. And I'm looking forward to watching him on the pitch for us soon.
The result, I guess, part of being a footballer is learning to go again, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, at this stage of the season, can't really look back too much and look what we could have done differently. Because as a team, we know we should have done better. There's a lot to work on. And yeah, it was just a case of getting back out there today and looking ahead to put things right on Saturday. There's still a lot to play for. A lot of twists and turns, anything can happen. So yeah, it's just about being positive and getting back out there and making things right on Saturday.
And you talk about making things right. I suppose you've got to keep believing that if you keep working hard, the goals and the chances have just got to come, because it was probably only the one chance you had on Tuesday with the snapshot on the half-turn, which the keeper tipped over, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think this season we've had a lot of good chances, and trend seems to be that we're getting the good positions. I think against Barrow we probably struggled with that a little bit more. So yeah, it's obviously something we're going to be working on. And yes, I like to think if all I need is that one chance. So if we can get in those positions, then the goals will definitely come.
And in terms of the service that the attacking players need, how much have you sort of been part of that attacking unit, having to sort of adapt to the fact that, you know, the rest of the team hasn't got Jamil to play a first up ball to, and that, you know, you probably want through balls over the top, and, you know, space to run onto, or crosses along the ground rather than high balls to compete for?
Yeah, obviously, Jam was a big miss, and it changed our approach style sometimes. But having that big target man ain't always the only approach that you've got, and we've got enough quality in the team to create chances and put chances away.
And Jimmy's just told us that one thing that Forest Green have got in favour is youth, so energy and, in a way, try and run Tranmere ragged. I mean, we look at their defence and think, well, there's some big units in there. We've got to we've got to run the likes of Manny Month if we can.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of quick lads, a lot of agile, pacey players, and we just need to look at using that to our advantage against back four that probably a lot older on average than our team, and probably a little bit slower. We've got the pace on them, so looking to use that to our advantage.
And back in the middle of the winter, you came on as a sub in the 3-2 defeat up at Prenton Park, but the comeback was while you were on the pitch. How much did you learn in those sort of 25 minutes or so, or half an hour actually, against Tranmere?
Yeah, it was a tough day. It was a bit of a disappointing game, but that second half could have got more out of it. I think looking at it, we had a bit of a slow start, so we need to be kind of fast out the box Saturday, definitely. They're a good side, but so are we. So, like I said, it's just a chance to get 3 points and stay in that race for the playoffs.
And you talk about the need for a fast start there. What are the things that you can do to try and ensure that you get one of those?
Well, we'll look to work on that today and tomorrow. Don't want to give too much away.
Fair enough, Jake. Finally, from me, there's obviously a social media boycott happening this weekend. You're on Twitter, but you've only made 154 tweets. Is that sort of deliberately keeping it on the down low to sort of, self-protection almost, or have you just got better things to do?
No, definitely not. I've not got much better things to do, but I think I like to think about what I'm putting out there, because footballers have a big platform, and a lot of followers, and a lot of people listening. A lot of people look up to footballers, so I think you just got to be careful and clever about what you say, and yeah, just that message of being kind and treat everyone equally, really.
Think before you tweet. Makes sense to me. Cheers, Jake. Thank you. Good luck.
Cheers.
I reckon you're too young for Twitter. You're probably more of a TikTok and Instagram type of guy. That's what.
On TikTok.
Yeah. I'm quite impressed that Phil's knew how many tweets you'd made, though. So that is good work.
Great work.
Go on, Phil. What are you going to say? No, I thought he was going to come.
That is the extent of my research. That is the extent of it.
Right, back to the football. How have you enjoyed your first season at Forest Green since coming from Sheffield United?
I've loved it. Been a big step up, kind of coming into first team football environment. It was everything I wanted. Much more competitive and a lot more on the line than 23s football. Been a lot tougher, I think, at the beginning as well, training wise, and getting used to that standard in training, everyone demanding more. Was tough, but it was really good for me. And I feel as a whole, I've had quite a good first season, something that I can definitely build on, and I'm already looking forward to building on and in the time off getting stronger and fitter and better. But yeah, focus is definitely just finishing this season positively and getting what we deserve.
Yeah, and I guess also, as a young man as well, adapting to a new part of the country as well is a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. First time really I moved away from home. So yeah, it was probably tough at first, but I've adapted, and it's doing what I've always wanted to do and chasing that dream. So yeah, I'm happy to go anywhere, really.
Yeah. Could you tell me how come you seem to score just really outstanding goals from distance, and you don't seem to score tap-ins? What's that all about?
I know. Well, it's something I probably need to work on. I think if you look at your jammers and your strikers like that that have at the top of the goal scoring charts, a lot of their goals will be 6-yard box, 12 yards out kind of thing. So it's definitely something that I can work on, getting in those areas and sniffing out the chances. But yeah, if I get the chance to shoot from further out, then I back myself and my shooting ability. So that's probably why.
And do you see yourself as a centre forward or a wide player? I mean, you played a bit. You played wide the other week. You played up front for Mark Cooper. You've also played wide. Where's your favourite place?
Honestly, anywhere along the kind of forward line, really. I'm happy to learn and pick things up and play for the team wherever, really. Used to playing down the middle, but obviously coming to a more physical league and stuff, sometimes it's not always the right thing. But yeah, I'm happy to do whatever for the team.
Yeah. Your former manager said, Mark Cooper said that you have got all the right tools to one day play in the Premier League. I guess that was a massive jolt of confidence when you heard him say that.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear things like that, but there's a lot of work that needs to go into it and a lot of learning and adapting to come before I can get anywhere near that level, really.
Yeah. How have you enjoyed working with Jimmy Ball as well? Because obviously, a change of manager in this season.
Yeah, it's been really good, positive, and enjoying the sessions and the positivity that's brought through the group. I think that's shown in performances. We had 3 really good performances, and obviously, first half the other night was a bit disappointing. But other than that, on a whole, it's been good from the lads, I think, and really positive. Yeah.
First goal came against Stevenage in October, and that sort of opportunity came because of a positive COVID test. Obviously, that wasn't good circumstances for the team, but do you almost look back at that as your breakthrough and you took the opportunity with both hands?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, with COVID, it's been different season, especially to start with, and it led to me getting that opportunity. But that's what the squad's there for. It's there for injuries or COVID or players that come in to prove that they've got what it takes. So yeah, I think it was quite a different way to come into the team, but it gave me the opportunity, and I took that, really.